Now, Kurt Knox is here. That's Amanda's father. His family has been just so devastated by this calamity, financially, emotionally, and that they've held it together is just a credit to the whole family. And Kurt's kind of the leader of the whole thing. Amanda was arrested on November 6, 2007. She spent 4 Christmases in prison. In April 2008, I'm watching the CBS 48 Hours Mystery. You've probably all seen it from time to time, show about a CBS crew who went and investigated this case to Perugia, Italy. And there's a renowned investigator that CBS had hired by the name of Paul Cialino. Paul had, one reason he was hired is he's a great investigator, and he was a major impetus behind Governor Ryan of Illinois commuting the death sentences of everybody on death row to life in prison without the possibility of parole. He's a Chicago investigator, and in that show, speaking about the case, after fully analyzing it for 2 weeks, he said, "This is the railroad job from hell." That got my attention. Shortly after that, in April, also in 2008, my daughter Shayna graduated from Seattle Prep with Amanda in 2005, and they carpooled together for 4 years. They weren't best friends or close friends, but they were friends. And I said, "Shayna, what do you think of Amanda Knox?" Not knowing what to get back from her. And she said, "She's the most genuinely kind person I know. She does not have a mean bone in her body." And I'm getting a major disconnect between this Paul Cialino and CBS and my daughter and what I'm hearing in the press. This is how it all started. This is Meredith Kircher, a beautiful young lady, and tragically she was murdered. Her throat was slit 3 times. She was Amanda's roommate. She was murdered on the night of November 1st, 2007. I don't think it gets any worse than that. Evidence against Rudy Guede is overwhelming. He admits to being at the scene of the murder. His bloody handprint is underneath the victim. His DNA is inside the victim's vagina. His bloody shoe prints are on the floor. He cleaned himself up, went home, took off his clothes, put on clean clothes, and went out dancing. That was the night of November 1st into the early morning hours of November 2nd. There's a reason police officers say if you see a broken window or a door to your house that's been broken, you don't go inside because you do not want to corner a burglar. You don't know what their state of mind is. The evidence clearly shows that he broke in, Meredith came home, the burglary turned into a robbery, the robbery turned into a sexual assault of some kind, and then he murdered her. But the authorities didn't want to look like fools. They had announced case closed. And in a news story that had gone global with our current technology, 20-year-old Amanda Knox, her then boyfriend, Raffaele Celescito, and Patrick had already lost a lot of face by letting Patrick go. So, they made a major commitment to the drug-induced sex orgy gone wrong theory, and Lumumba was replaced by Guede. Everything else stayed the same. It defies logic because Amanda barely knew Rudy. Now, she knew him because he played basketball with one of the boys that lived downstairs, and there was a common social network of the people in that house. So there was once, maybe twice, they were in the same group. No one ever saw him talk. Raffaele had never met Rudy. Later, Amanda couldn't even remember Rudy's name. There's no phone calls between Rudy and Amanda and Rudy and Raffaele. There are no emails. There are no texts between them. There was nobody that could put the three of them together, but that remained the theory of the prosecution, which changed from time to time. Started out with the sex orgy gone wrong, drug-induced sex orgy gone wrong. It then later went to a sacrificial rite. November 1st, the night of the murder, was the day after Halloween. The prosecutor in this case said in open court in October 2008 that this was a sacrificial rite in accordance with the traditions of Halloween. That it was a sexual and sacrificial rite. That they had originally intended to do this on Halloween. Now, who would have a sexual and sacrificial rite on the night of Halloween? A witch, maybe.